afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Star Cub Review. I'm your host, as always, Star Cub. And first and foremost, I really have to apologize for taking a couple of days not to post anything. I know I had a big, huge season review in total for it's a ratings / recommendation, how I rate the American Horror Story as a whole, all the seasons. That was requested by one of my followers, and I have had absolutely no time to film, get it out and ready. So I'm actually doing it today because I've finally been able to slow down just a little bit and get some videos hopefully out. This will be the first. And this one was requested by, like I said, one of my followers on YouTube, and that is Jacoby. And he wanted me to do a whole season review. What I thought of the seasons, my ranking and rating. So this is for you, Jacoby. So before I get into that, I just want to say big thanks to everyone that's still tuning into my channel. I really, really appreciate it. Everyone new that's checking it out, thanks so much, guys. I really, really appreciate it. I really, really do. Even though I don't post all the time, I try to get videos out as quickly as possible, and sometimes I may falter here or there and not get any out because I've just something else comes up and I'm just not able to film. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, American Horror Story as a whole, there's some seasons I really, really like, and there's some seasons that just absolutely hit the mark for me. Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk over the years had some amazing seasons. Well, yeah, I say that, had some. Others he has just faltered behind. Both of them have, and the writing is just absolutely shocking in some of the seasons. But I did a separate review and rating for American Horror Story Delicate, which was based on Danielle Valentine's book Delicate Condition, and it brought it back to form. Did I say, is it absolutely perfect? No, it does have its faults, but boy did it bring back its horror roots, the scary eeriness of it all, and fantastically enough, Kim Kardashian as Siobhan Corbin was my favorite character in it, and she absolutely blew me out of the water with her acting. 3 months ahead before she was even allowed to get on that set, she did extremely well, and I praise her for that. I don't care what anybody says. Kim Kardashian did a really, really good job, despite she has no acting whatsoever. This proved me wrong by saying if she applies herself to something and really wants to make a go of it, then she can do it. And she totally blew me out of the water with her character, and it's totally well deserved, all the praise that she got for it. So for my rating and ranking, I'll just be going through the American Horror Story seasons randomly. So here we go. First one, Asylum. Absolutely brilliant. Ranking, I rank that one at, so this is the thing. I have this one in contention with, for the number one spot, I have Asylum in contention with American Horror Story Coven for the number one spot. Now, I absolutely loved Coven, and I absolutely loved Asylum. But where I would put them on the spectrum, I would put maybe... Okay, so I'm going to be a little bit controversial here. I would put Coven as number two. Number two. Coven, my rating for Coven, 9. A 9 out of 10. It wasn't a perfect season, but boy did Coven deliver with witches and, grotesque bits flying everywhere and stuff like that. It was a fantastic season, although I really wish had I dived more into mythology and used the powers more often than what was seen. So that's ranked at number 2. Now, Asylum, I'm not even going to rank Asylum at number 1. As much as I think Asylum did an absolutely amazing job, and the ending to Asylum, didn't care for it, but boy did Jessica Lange's character blow me out of the water. She was absolutely fantastic. The storyline, mixing the storylines between serial killer, aliens, Nazis, Anne Frank, adding all different sorts of things into Asylum. Oh, and not to mention it has connections to Freak Show as well. There was a lot going on in Asylum, and I think. Oh, and not to mention it had the devil in it too. So there was that aspect as well, which was just absolutely nuts. They added way too much into Asylum. I think if they had stuck with the actual whole alien route mixed in with Asylum, with a cameo from Pepper from Freak Show, I think it would have suited it a lot better. But overall, Asylum was amazing. The ending I did not like. The ending, it really faltered on the ending a bit, although I do like the fact that Jessica Lange's character, in the end, got a happy ending. But other than that, I would rank Asylum with Coven at number 2. So that's they're both in the number 2 spot. I'm going to be really controversial here and go for my number one spot is American Horror Story Roanoke, because I absolutely loved Roanoke. Now, I know that sounds very, very controversial because a lot of people absolutely bloody hated Roanoke, but I ranked that at number 1 for me, with a rating of, I'm going to say, a 9. It wasn't perfect, but man, did I have fun. It was totally different. It covered it had two twists in it, which really covered its bases in terms of what you were actually seeing, and then it turned out to be something completely different. One part of it was a reality show, and then the other part is real life. So what you're seeing is a reenactment, and then it opens up, and then it's the real actors that portrayed the characters from the real life story that happened. So the actors meet the real people that were involved in this whole incident, and it was crazy. But I really, really thoroughly enjoyed Roanoke, as much as everyone is going to hate me for it. I really think Roanoke for me was the number 1 spot at 9. And then, of course, Asylum and Coven at the number 2 spot. Now, I said Coven was a 9. Asylum, definitely, I would say a 9 too. So all 3 of them so far a 9. So for my third ranking at number 3, now this is a hard one, because there really isn't a lot to go off in terms of what other seasons. So my number 3 spot would probably be Hotel, a ranking of maybe an 8 out of 10. I mean, I loved Hotel, but then there were aspects of Hotel that I really could not stand. It added too much. Some of it didn't quite land in terms of connections, especially the connections to 1984, because the biggest contention is the fact that in Hotel you have Richard Ramirez, played by a completely different actor, but Richard Ramirez is a lot older in Hotel. and I say that because he's a lot older in Hotel, looks completely different to what he is in 1984. And the fact that it doesn't make sense because in 1984, Richard Ramirez gets stuck in this loophole, like every time he's at the camp, they keep murdering him over and over and over. So every time he wakes up, they just keep murdering him. Every time he resurrects, they just keep killing him over and over, the ghosts. So he's stuck at the camp forever. So how on earth he ended up at Hotel and how that connects to that doesn't make sense to me. Lady Gaga was absolutely amazing, but was it groundbreaking? The story wasn't that groundbreaking. I mean, there were good aspects of it, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Another one, I didn't see Cult. I absolutely I refused to watch American Horror Story Cult. I refused to watch it. I know that's based on it's more based in reality with cults and serial killers and based around the 2016 presidential election. But I refused to watch Cult. I've only seen snippets of it and it just didn't sit well with me. So unfortunately, that one is just not on my radar. Number 4, ranking at number 4, I would definitely have to go American Horror Story Apocalypse with a rating of 7.5. A 7.5 out of 10. The first 3 episodes of American Horror Story Apocalypse was absolutely amazing. It had the grittiness, the ickiness, the horror, the suspense, the thrilling side of it, the mystery, and it generally was going to feel like a really good season. And you know, it basically is a Coven crossover, especially with Murder House. And it fell flat. It completely fell flat. It was not what I thought after 3 episodes, and then it went downhill. Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk completely fucked up. American Horror Story Apocalypse. The writing was just slack, really, really slack, and just revolting. Some of the characters in it were revolting, absolutely horrible. Couldn't stand Billy Lord's character as one of the witches, Mallory. Could not stand her. The acting was subpar from all the other characters, bar Emma Roberts' character, which absolutely, she shone in that season. Absolutely shone. Shined. She was absolutely amazing. She got her redemption arc, and then it gets totally fucked up in the end with Mallory's manipulation of changing the timeline. So it completely stuffed that up, and the episode based on the crossover with Murder House was absolutely amazing. Sarah Paulson directed it. That completely went out the window. Completely useless, completely redundant. There's no point in even airing that episode because it makes completely no sense, because then you go and destroy the whole thing that she did with that episode, especially when it comes to the witches. Cody Fern as Michael Langdon for American Horror Story Apocalypse as the titular villain. Absolutely amazing. Like I said, he's my brother. He did an amazing job as Michael Langdon, as the villain. Extremely well done. Although the latter half, where it dives more into Michael Langdon's story, became a bit of a bore and a bit of a snooze fest. And some of the writing was very, very fucking sloppy. But with the material that he was given in that second half, he did an extremely well done job. So I'm not going to fault him there. Yeah, he did an amazing job. Cody Fenton, everybody. So for number 5 is Murder House. I rank Murder House at an 8. Murder House was amazing. Jessica Lange, absolutely amazing. Sarah Paulson as Billie Dean, she was amazing in it. They all were. Murder House was an amazing season. I mean, I say amazing because I mean it's amazing. It is great, but I do have my gripes with it. I know it's the first one in the entire of American Horror Story, but even still, there were some things in the story that could have been done a lot better. The ending was completely piss poor. The ending was just crap. I really did not like the ending at all. I just could not stand the ending to it. And some of the choices that was made with the story could have been done a lot better, could have been handled a lot better, could have been explained a lot better as well. But hey, for its first season, it did extremely well. So that's number 5. Number 6, would have to say American Horror Story Freak Show. I'm not going to say much about American Horror Story Freak Show other than the fact that it's ranked at number 6. I give that a rating of maybe a 6 to a 6.5. That season was gross. It was disgusting. It made me feel gross. It made me feel really sick in my stomach. The acting was absolutely amazing. The story, didn't care for it. The whole freak aspect was great and all, but it really faltered in a lot of spots. And for Jessica Lange's final hurrah, 4 seasons into American Horror Story, this is her as her character, Elsa Mars, I think her name was, Elsa Mars. I think it was okay. I didn't have sympathy for her character, and I think for her going out after 4 seasons, and this is the one they pick her to go on a big bang with, was kind of a little bit sad, because it really just felt flat. The villain in it, Dandy, or whatever his name is, Dandy, Dairy, I have no idea. Finn Wittrock played the villain in it, along with the clown villain with half the mouth missing after he took a shotgun to his fucking mouth. The villains were weak, I think. Twisty the Clown was weak. And Finn Wittrock's character was weak. The writing was just completely fell flat for me. Made me feel gross. I wanted to have a scrub afterwards. A really hard, long scrub in the bath. Because I just felt gross from watching that season. I think, Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk just wanted to gross people out because they could gross people out. And it did. It really made me feel gross. No offense to the actors and actresses, but they portrayed the freaks really well, but it made me feel really sick. And that's all I'm really going to say on that one. Number 7. Number 7. What am I going to put at number 7? Oh, American Horror Story 1984. What a waste of fucking effort that was. Absolutely disastrous, Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk. The writing, absolutely hideous. Absolute crap. The characters, crap. The villain, Mr. Jingles, crap. For you basing it in the 80s, where you had Jar Jar Goo Goo, or whatever the bloody hell their names are, as a cameo, you didn't utilize them very well. And the 80s soundtrack, could have done more with the 80s soundtrack, Ryan Murphy. The villain, like I said, was crap. Emma Roberts' character felt really, really good in the beginning, but then faltered halfway through the season. Having Richard Ramirez in it, piss poor, was piss weak, connecting it with ghosts as well, him being able to resurrect as well, and aspects of the devil in it really did not mix well. The whole camp aspect, Friday the 13th much, which I know you were trying to go for, and you were trying to, recreate the 80s, but you really did a piss weak job of really selling it as a really good 80s story. For one, I wouldn't have named my killer Mr. Jingles. Probably would have done the whole camp setup a lot better than what you did it at. Again, Cody Fern's character in it, he did an amazing job with the material that was given to him. I'm not going to fault him there, but his character, Xavier, was absolute crap. Billy Lord's character, thought she was great, and then she falters halfway through, and her character becomes real, crap. Leslie Grossman's character, as one of the camp counselors, absolutely crap. Her character from a mile away, you could see it when we first got introduced to her. Yep, she's the killer. She's one of the killers. So there was that. Let me just pull up 1984, because the only character I really, really liked was Angelica Ross's character as Dr. Donna Chambers. She was absolutely amazing. I give all praise to her, because her character I absolutely rooted from way in the beginning to way at the end. The ending was absolute crap, but you gave her a good ending, at least. Emma Roberts' character, sort of. Matthew Morrison as Trevor Kirshner, crap, absolute crap. Could not stand his character. His acting was shite. Was absolute shite. Wow. And Gus Kenworthy as Chet Clancy, bad, real bad. His acting in it was shite too. Absolute crap. Billy Lord as Montana Duke, like I said, she was good in the beginning, and then her character faltered. Emma Roberts as Brooke Thompson, really good in the beginning, then faltered halfway through. John Carroll Lynch as Mr. Jingles. I love him as an actor, but boy did his acting in this absolutely suck. Cody Fern, give praise to him for playing Xavier Plimpton. Great character introduction at the start, falters halfway through, does what he can with the material, but in the end his character sucked. Zach Villa as Richard Ramirez sucked. I'm sorry, but you sucked. And there was no need to put Richard Ramirez into this at all. So it kind of faltered there. Yeah, 84 just left a bad taste in my mouth, and it was absolutely horrible. So there's that one. So that was number 7. So number 8 goes to double feature. Part 1 being Red Tide, and then Part 2 being Death Valley. Both of them absolutely sucked. That's all I'm really going to say on that. Red Tide in the beginning was gonna, it looked like it was going to be an absolutely amazing season, great twist, but then comes the twist with the little girl in it, and the story from there just completely goes downhill. Hated it. Death Valley, where it's set in the 1950s, about being abducted by aliens. half of, he's done in color, then the other half is done in black and white. Cody Fern was in Death Valley as the alien robot ambassador thing. The acting in that was shocking. All of the acting in that was shocking. Absolutely shocking. Death Valley, absolutely shocking. Red Tide, good in the beginning, shit in the end, shit after a couple of episodes because everything just didn't sit well. The little girl didn't sit well with me. I thought she was just fucking a nuisance. I couldn't stand her. Macaulay Culkin being a major character in it, he did extremely well. His acting was brilliant. I can't really say much more other than that. His character was really good. What do I rate it for double feature? I rate it 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. That's all I'm going to say. 3 out of 10. Number 9. Okay. So for number 9, I'm going to go... Let's have a look what's left. Let's have a look what's left. Okay. We have... I believe we have... It's American Horror Story NYC. Yeah, American Horror Story NYC. I don't know. NYC, to me, was really... It really didn't hit the mark for me, unfortunately. It was all over the place, and with it mainly taking place in the 70s and 80s, flashing back and flashing forward from the 70s to 80s, during the AIDS crisis. Then they add in a serial killer as well, that chops up the gays. It's set in New York City during the AIDS crisis, during the epidemic, when no one knew what it was. I don't know. I didn't like it. I thought it was bad. Depiction of it was really bad. The metaphors were really bad. The acting in it was bad. And it stars Russell Tovey, Joe Mantello, Charlie Carver, Billy Lord, Leslie Grossman, Sandra Bernhard, Isaac Cole Powell, Zachary Quinto, Dennis O'Hare, and Patti LuPone. Other than that, Patti LuPone as Kathy Piaz. Bad. Didn't see enough of her. Her character was written in as, I don't know, just because it's Patti LuPone. So she didn't really tickle my fancy as a character. There was mystery about her, but other than that, Dennis O'Hare as Henry Grant, thought his character was weak. Zachary Quinto as Sam, absolutely hated his character. To me, he was really gross. His acting was really bad, and overall made me feel really dirty. Isaac Cole Powell as Theo Graves, couldn't stand him. Thought his acting was shit, really bad, and really poor character. Sandra Bernhard as Fran, she was amazing. I will give it that. She was amazing, but we didn't see enough of her. She wasn't involved enough. Should have been involved more. So I'm probably going to cop a lot of flack there from all the Sandra Bernhard fans. but she was all right. She was amazing, but didn't see enough of her. So I'm writing her off as, there was no need to have her in there. Leslie Grossman as Barbara Reed. Bad. Really bad. No need to have her in it at all. Her character was piss poor. The writing was piss poor. And for Leslie Grossman, she's an amazing actress. But her role in this, crap. Absolute crap. Was just dumbfounded. Same with Billy Lord as Hannah Wells. Really bad. Really bad acting, Billy. Really bad. Your character was really bad as well. Her storyline was shit. Charlie Carver as Adam Carpenter, one of the main characters. Couldn't stand him. Couldn't stand him. Could not stand him. At all. Joe Mantello as Gino Borelli. Loved him. Absolutely loved Gino. And Joe Mantello as the actor who portrays him. Absolutely amazing. His storyline was so compelling. It was sad. Made me feel a lot for him. He was amazing. Best character in it. Russell Tovey as Patrick Reed, the NYC cop that has, secrets. I like Russell Tovey, but his character in it was just a brute. Was horrible. Was a dickhead and a loser. And I had no sympathy for his character. But his character was written just so horribly. The whole aspect surrounding AIDS for this particular season, using a serial killer, using death as using, men dressed as bloody fairies and all of that. I'm not dissing any of that, but having that as a metaphor for fucking AIDS was done really, really badly. The big muscle-bound bloke that is all clad in leather, and he's meant to be a metaphor for death, was done really piss poor. Matthew William Bishop as Big Daddy. That's the one, the guy that was all clad in fetish leather, and he's meant to be a metaphor for death and AIDS. Was done really badly. Couldn't understand why you went down that route. Having a serial killer added into the mix to kill gays with AIDS, and spoiler alert, everybody, the serial killer turning out to be a homo himself, and he's trying to save the gays, I think was a very, very piss weak story. And me, myself, being a gay, I know I'm probably going to cover a lot of flack for this one, but I don't think Ryan Murphy understood his own writing with this season. It just, I don't know. It felt like he was taking the piss out of AIDS at the same time while trying to make it a very serious take by including men dressed up in fairy costumes and deer costumes and, trollololaring on a beach and in the woods. Oh, excuse me. It did not make any sense. And for the love of God, Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk, your writing in it was absolutely fucking horrible. And I just, by the end of it, it just made me feel really angry that you chose to do something like this, but it didn't come across very serious. It came across more like a slapstick comedy. So that's my take on that one. It just, I really don't, I really don't know. Like, really? It was just bad. And then, of course, I did a separate one on American Horror Story Delicate, which is not ranked in this one. So, And NYC, I rate NYC the lowest with a 2 out of 10. Just really bad. Really bad. This one has been a very long video, but I'm going into detail with all the seasons as a whole. Now, some seasons I really liked and I ranked them high, and some of them I ranked low. There were aspects that I liked of all of them, but it purely goes on story, characters, the setting, and all of that too, which goes into my whole broad thinking. And I've got to really like the characters. I've really got to enjoy it. The setting, the story, everything has to make sense. And we all, you have to admit, over the last few years, Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk have been spewing out. The last couple of American Horror Stories have been absolute crap. And I'm not afraid to say that. They have been absolute crap. And really just gone off the wall. Delicate brought it back. And it was amazing again. It was like, wow. You really did that? Like, it's not perfect, but you did an amazing job for what it was. It's not perfect. There are some faults in it. Some things could have been done better. Some things could have been explained more. And you could have done the runtime a lot better. But as a whole, Delicate brought it back for season 12. Now for season 13, come up with an original concept, guys. Please, for the love of God, do another book. Do a really interesting horror book and bring that to the screen. Bring that to TV for FX. And do the episodes an hour long. Do 10 episodes at 1 hour long. And make it really gritty, it's really got to grab the attention of viewers, because we have no idea, us as the audience has no idea whether or not American Horror Story is going to be renewed past season 13. I know Ryan Murphy's contracted to 13 seasons. Other than that, will it get renewed? Who knows? But with Delicate getting good reviews, and I've seen on YouTube a lot of people taking the piss out of it and that, but I don't take any notice of that. Generally, I know Delicate got a lot of praise. Kim Kardashian got a lot of praise. So, there's that to consider as well. And I just hope that Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk, whoever you pick for season 13, whatever story you decide to do, make it original. Please, for the love of God, make it original. And that's all I've got to say. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning into this one. Now, I know this one has been a long one, nearly 40 minutes long, but man, do I feel good getting that out. So there's that one done and dusted, and I'll catch you all with some more videos over the coming days. And I should have another one out for you later on tonight, and that is my review, my 100% platinum review for Stellar Blade for the PS5 that I platinumed last night. So I will be getting my review out for that later on tonight. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. Don't forget to click like, the subscribe button, the notification button to keep up to date with all my content, and I will see you all in the next one. Ciao.